I'm not gonna BS you guys. I'm already full, but you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a big girl. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's the end of the week for me, Thursday, and we're finally getting a leg training session in. It's been like a week since I've trained legs, 6 days, I think. I picked up Kayla Saturday. Anyways, my right knee on the most lateral part is getting a little bit of pain. It's kind of just like a aching soreness, not like a knee joint pain, which is good. It's probably just the ligaments on the outside, like the LCL or something like that. I'm not really sure. But when I went and got my massage while Kayla was in town, I noticed a lot of things that the massage therapist pointed out. And again, it's why I say coaches need coaches, trainers need trainers, elite athletes need someone to look out for them, because the massage therapist looked at me in my underwear and said, stand up and turn around. And he touched my right lower back above my hip, and he goes, your right hip is totally like protruding. It's much higher. And when I laid down, I could feel how my right spinal erector was much higher up than my left. So he said, your right foot has too much external rotation, meaning I'm rotating my hips open like I'm trying to overcompensate for the squat over Q, and my foot is inverting like this too much. I'm on the rails of my foot, flattening out the outside of my arch, and he's pointing out to me why this is wrong. And again, I'm gonna touch on this when I bench next time. The problem with doing things right is after a while, you're gonna use the same cues. And once you're perfectly in line, but you keep cueing the same maybe overcompensation, you're gonna screw yourself up. So if your cue is knees out and 1 week later you're doing perfect and you keep cueing knees out because it worked for you, eventually you're gonna run into a problem, and that's what's happening with me on the legs. Sumo squats, hack squats were excellent, and as soon as I started cueing too much knees out and trying to go even deeper, I was overdoing it. So today, it's all about staying square, staying in line, and I'll show you guys my feet, and we'll see how I can keep everything from being so open to being more straight in line and square. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'll talk about it in the voiceover, show you on my body in the picture-in-picture some things, but we're gonna get in a moderate leg workout, and then we gotta get going because it's already a little late. Alrighty guys, what's going on? Hopefully I'm in focus and everything is good to go with the lighting. I'm probably not going to do more voiceovers in here, but my roommate's chilling today, taking a day off. So easier to get it done in here, and this is going to be a long one for you guys. So we're going to talk a little bit about legs, a little bit about what I've been up to since Kayla left, and I'm just going to keep it real with you guys, no edits, not much to talk about in this video other than what I talked about in the intro. So why don't we start with that, and then we'll get into what I've been up to and some relationship things I gotta talk about with you guys. So for the start of the workout, we did the loop bands and the hamstrings. Always start with loop bands. I've cut it down to 2 sets just because I feel like I've gotten what I need to get out of it. But if you're struggling with your squat, struggling with knee pain, hip pain, lower back tightness, poor posture, the loop band can really help you. Those 4 exercises, side to side, then front, and then back, those can really help you out. So the massage therapist told me that I was over cueing, so using my legs, and instead of squatting with my feet straight, I was really rotating out and really inverting my foot like that. And that's a problem, because obviously if you're already neutral, when you go into an externally or laterally rotated position, you're no longer neutral, you're overcompensating, or you're just out of position, plain and simple. So I talked about it in my previous bench video. I intended to talk about it in a future one, but guys, we're always listening to YouTubers, powerlifters, strength coaches. You probably shouldn't be listening to bodybuilders, but maybe some bodybuilders, I guess like myself, if you want to consider me that. But we always remind you guys to cue, tuck your elbows, squat with your knees out, bring your knees forward so you don't get too much back extension, or I guess parallel to the ground. Keep your knees out so you don't cave in. But guys, since I started squatting when I was a teenager, my knees never caved in. I never knew what a 1 rep max was. I never knew what ego lifting was. I just lifted what I could lift for 4, 5, 10, 15 reps. I never failed reps.
unless the purpose or what the intention was to go till failure and have my buddy help me out, no big deal. But my point is that, like I said, when I started squatting, I didn't have my knees cave in. So for me to even cue knees out is probably a bad idea. For the rest of my training career, if I'm cueing knees out when I've never had a knock knee or an inward knee position, it doesn't really make sense to cue it. It's like if you have good posture, don't cue having super straight back, because then you're probably gonna end up pulling your chin back, and vice versa. If your back needs to get a little bit of an arch, maybe just tilt your pelvis and you'll gain that arch. Don't overdo it. Not sure why you'd want an arch, maybe if you're benching, etc. But usually if you're benching, if you have a big upper back and big glutes, you get the arch. That's why when you see a lot of skinny guys with no arch and they tell you, oh, I can't arch, it's probably because their upper back and their butt aren't very developed. If you have a large butt and a large upper back, you're gonna have tons of space between your lower back and the bench, and you're gonna reduce your range of motion slightly. So we're just gonna cover that right there for the leg workout. You guys already know, still doing the hacks, still doing the same thing, but no longer am I cueing knees out. I'm cueing knees right over my second toe, and so far so good. So yeah, you guys should try that. If you're getting any knee pain, lateral or medial, check your cues and check your form, because you may be cueing something you no longer need to cue.
Never seen someone do 6th or 8th reps. That's impressive. So I'm gonna do this set for you guys, Milos training style. So 1 plate until I die.
All right, guys, so if you don't know who Milos Sarcev, I'll never get that right. If you know or don't know who he is, he's a bodybuilder from the 90s, kind of that second golden era or the 90s golden era. And he's got a crazy training philosophy, which I don't agree with. But whenever I do want to do a high rep set or a beyond failure set or even approach failure at all, I always think of Milos and the way he trains. And if you guys don't follow Milos Sarcev on Instagram, you're missing out, because he's been training Hidetada Yamagishi 2 years ago, Arnold Classic champ. Not deserved, honestly, but good IFBB pro, and Milos is trying to have him come back. It's always cool to see these 40-year-old IFBB pros who you think are just getting over the hill. It's good to see him come back and smash it again. And I don't think Hide has it in him genetically, just me being honest and observing, but as far as effort and training right and eating right, I'm sure he's doing everything. So time will tell if he can pull it together and look better than he did last year. So I'm hoping that he can. And like I said, if you guys don't follow Milos, he's a funny guy. And to finish this video, yeah, the past week's been really rough. Those of you who are still watching are obviously my OG ride or die subs. I don't think anyone gives a crap about seeing me do leg extensions and leg curls and some calves, but those of you who do, we'll spend a minute talking. First of all, thank you guys for liking the videos that Kayla and I made, or that we filmed, and thanks for supporting everything you guys saw. You guys do only see the good parts of the relationship, and that's just how it's probably always going to be. But yeah, just take it with a grain of salt. Don't think that there is some sort of perfection that you're missing out on, because it's never perfect. And no matter how perfect I want it to look, because I love making videos and I actually like creating videos that show some emotion or maybe get an emotional response. If any of you guys laugh or smile or tear up ever, that's like worth it for me. Just to make a video that gives someone a pleasurable feeling or makes them feel alive, that's important to me. So I hope those videos did that for you guys, but just know this past week I've been slow on releasing the videos, been slow on training. I missed like 2 days in a row at the gym, which is the first time since I moved here, and that's just because of some personal issues we're going through, and it is what it is. But no amount of suffering or regret or anything like that is gonna help you, so it's really up to you to do what you can. And sometimes it's not easy and it's not really doable, but you can't give up, because failures and failing is just the road to success. So if you give up, you lose, but if you fail, you can learn and you can keep learning. And once you stop failing, you'll be successful. So, love you guys, thank you, peace. Gains.
All right, guys, so today's leg training session was awesome. Very, very good. The hamstring curls and leg extensions, I never felt so good. And the tips that I talked about in my voiceover that my massage therapist suggested, basically what he informed me about my alignment made a big difference. So, sixth meal of the day, I had 2 shakes or 2 proteins, so not too much whole food. I ran out of clean foods. It's freezing and like 9 p.m. as you can see. So, we're gonna dig in to Old Faithful. We got steak burrito, extra rice, black beans, tiny bit of sour cream, fajitas, a little medium, a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of corn. Usually I get a little bit of everything. So, extra rice. The steak was normal though. It's no illegal pizza, but it'll do. It's a little bigger. Got a limp burrito. I'm not gonna BS you guys. I'm already full, but you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a big girl. Just 4 or 5 more rows of bites. That's all it takes. 4 or 5 more sets. What's up, layup? Alright guys, now we're gonna eat an ice cream sandwich and a maple bar. But probably only half, that way I can eat this later with a protein shake or protes and make it another high calorie meal. So, not the healthiest thing to do, but in a pickle when I don't have food, Chipotle, $1 ice cream, $1 donut. Some dairy, some carbs. This is what it is. Not bad for $1. I had a little accident there. Nothing a little rag can't clean up. This just looks tastier. Alright guys, so I'm gonna finish this half, probably run to the bathroom, and I'll see you guys next time. Let's get that weight up. Probably with a meal after this.